This episode of Gameboiz is brought to you by Laguna Motors. We make car buying easy. Why waste time with Craigslist clowns and sled lots with trailer offices? Buy with ease. Buy with confidence. Come down to beautiful South Orange County and buy from Laguna Motors. Follow us on Instagram at Laguna Motors or visit us at lagunamotorsoc.com. That's lagunamotorsoc.com.
Yo, hey Willie D,
What up, Dow?
where you at?
Well, I don't know when this is coming out, but September 14th, back to the grind with my boys in the buddy system. That's downtown Riverside. Always a good time. Nice underground room. Perfect for comedy. September 23rd, I think I'm on the 8:30 show, 8 o'clock show, something like that.
That sounds right.
September 23rd, I'm back in Santa Ana at Chapter 1. Always a good time down there. And I'll probably be around the IE doing open mics there too. And then, of course, October 2nd at the Ontario Improv with the buddy system.
Yeah.
Yes! Enjoy it! Tickets are available right now, ontario.improv.com. Look for the buddy system on October 2nd. It's at 8 o'clock. Tickets are $15, but if you use the code word BUDDY, B-U-D-D-Y, you will receive $5 off your tickets. Isn't that a great deal? So come say hi and laugh with us. George, you're up to bat, buddy.
October 2nd is our big show, but before then, September 14th, Chamorro, if this comes out later. Sorry. We're at Back to the Grind, like he said. We're going to be down there. I'll be down there all night. 8:30 show, 9:30 show. So we're going to have a good time. Come by for some free comedy, some fire cold brew, and they got ice cream if that's your thing for this fall season. So come out. We got William Henderson on the lineup. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good night.
What day is this?
Tomorrow. Apparently I'm hosting. I didn't realize I was hosting. This is on me. Who else is on that line? I think your show, Tony Bowers,
Yeah.
Gabe Sosa, Savannah Kay, Joe Beltran, William Henderson, and that's just the first lineup. So come check out the second lineup or check out my Instagram. We'll have the second lineup there. September 26th, I am in Upland at A&G Collectibles. If you buy a ticket on Eventbrite, you get 15% off your purchase. There's going to be raffles there. It's at a comic book shop. Well, it's like a collectible comic book trading card shop. You know, one of those.
They do all
things.
of it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Do they have D&D stuff?
They have D&D stuff. Yeah. That's where Jonathan Tynes bought his dice and then didn't bring them to his game.
He overpaid for dice and then forgot them.
What a fucking dummy.
Good thing we're going to play more than once.
Yeah. 27th, I'm at Skiptown Playhouse in Los Angeles doing the Good Nick versus Bad Nick show. I think tickets are $10, so hit up someone on the lineup. Should be a good time. And then again, October 2nd, Ontario Improv, Buddy System, code word Buddy, B-U-D-D-Y, $5 off. We've got Ace Gian as your headliner. We've got Mikey McKernan, KJ Robinson, Zara Khan, William Henderson, Aaron Chase hosting, George Ferrito. Should be a good time. So come check us out. If you have any questions or you missed the dates, go to the Buddy System CO on Instagram or the George F on Instagram or Dustin Henderson on Instagram.
That Runkeeper chat is annoying.
It's
There's no easy way to get to it.
there's no easy way to get to it, and it's like it's not really tracking what I wanted it to track. You know, it's like I wanted us to all have to kind of run a day, but it only counts your
The number of times,
yeah.
not like each day.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
so if you run 3 times in a day, it gives you 3 check marks.
Yeah, so Jonathan banged out 5 miles one day, but he ran 5 1-mile runs, and it's technicality, I guess.
Well, that's, I mean, we're not going to base anything off of those check marks. It's just a good. You know that if somebody's at less than like you or me, then you know they haven't done their runs.
That's
and plus
true.
it tells you like in the chat.
When someone does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. All right, you're right. I did say 15th. Never mind. 2 days.
Getting my hopes up.
48
I have
hours.
2 more miles to run.
You and Stephen Roth at the bottom of this.
I don't give a fuck, dude.
Dude, what are we eating? I get to choose, right?
Look at who I'm competing against and tell me if I had any chance of winning at all.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Dude, you ran 11 miles yesterday.
10 and a half.
I round up.
No, we're rounding down though.
What is
for
this,
whole
D&D?
thing. Yeah. I
D&D
ran 10 and a
rules.
half. But one, I'm a crazy person, but two, that's the most I've ever run.
Really?
Yeah, ever. In a go. I did
That means you could do a half marathon.
I don't know, dude.
That's only 13, dude.
Dude,
It's
mile
2.5
9, mile 9. I quit. I stopped twice for this run. So my goal for on this run was just to run the furthest I had done ever.
You didn't have a plan?
Not really, because I was just like, I'm gonna keep running around this block until my heart explodes. So I got coffee and I was like, all right, let's do this. So my plan was somewhere where I was about to quit, I needed to eat because I usually run empty stomach, coffee only.
Yeah.
So I stopped at 6.5 miles and I had one of those fruit pouch squeeze things, but I stood in place. So I only ran the distance. I didn't cover any distance walking. And then I stopped again at 9 miles and I was like, I think I'm done. I stopped.
And you still went another mile and a half after that. You just have to get home?
Yeah, no. I was in front of the apartment right here, and I was like, I think that was my last one, and I was like, no, I got one more. I think I got But it was
fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was probably the hardest mile and a half I'd ever
believe
run,
it.
hands down.
I had a rough time getting started this morning, dude. I fucking like my first like quarter mile, I was running like a 12.5 minute pace. I was just so slow, just trudging along, and then once I get to like a half mile, I start feeling good. I start like stretching like my legs more and just like really getting into like a stride. But like by the time I get to a mile, I'm like, I'm good. This is enough for me.
12.5 is what I managed to run the entire 10
That's
miles
pretty
at.
fucking good, dude.
I was pretty proud of myself for that. Like, I know I usually run at a slow pace, but I was like, I think I got faster the last 3 miles, even though I felt like hanging myself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dude, this last month I felt so good though. I've had so much energy. Like I've been getting up early, staying up late, and just like
I've been having a lot more good days for sure.
Yeah.
Like, my depression has not creeped in.
Yeah. I know. Aaron the other day was like, I'm feeling depressed. I'm like, did you do your running today? It's like literally like that's and this is like a scientific fact that like exercise is the best temporary solution for depression.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's because honestly, especially after 10 miles, there's just no room in there for anything else.
Like you can't be sad.
You don't have the energy. I was telling everyone else this, but I didn't get to tell you that like after my 10-mile run, I dried off and everything and cooled down and I laid down because I was just exhausted. And I don't know if I fell asleep. Like I might have blacked out because there's a good hour and a half chunk of time that I don't remember, but I don't remember like being unconscious either. I just checked my phone like, I've been awake the whole time. And then as I was walking around, realized it was like 6 o'clock. Like, what happened? Hang on. So I might have died for a second.
That's good. It's good for your
It took
have that near-death experience.
How long does it take your legs to recover after a 1 mile, 9-minute mile run?
Now that I'm used to it, there is like no recovery really.
Just like cool down and you're good.
Yeah, I mean, I walk like the last
50
300 feet, maybe, not even, 100 feet, maybe, then take a shower. I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. It took me all day to recover from.
Yeah, I believe that.
Like, I had never experienced that before.
Yeah.
I
And
felt like Jello.
fucking Andrew Pupa ran 33 miles the other day.
That's crazy. Those people are crazy.
He's doing a 100-miler. I think it's this weekend.
Nice.
think it's
He's
tomorrow.
the running joke.
Yeah,
on
at the Running
IG?
Joke.
Yeah.
Great dude. I had him on my Comedy Trip podcast back in the day.
I think
was
that's
fun.
yeah. I never met him, but I was like, I know this dude.
Yeah.
That might be where I heard him.
He's
Okay.
cool. He's a nice guy.
Back in the day, a lot of these people that listen to this podcast don't know what the Comedy Trip is.
Oh
Rude.
yeah,
Fucking rude.
it's been a minute.
It has.
I did it for a year, but it's weird because you can't listen to the old episodes now
Yeah.
because I didn't keep the website up. Because fuck that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, what?
Yeah. Why pay it if you can't
Yeah.
do the thing?
Actually, I think you could. I think some of them like are on Facebook. Like Podbean like puts it on Facebook in like a weird like video kind of format.
Mm.
It's like it's a video, but it's just the audio and it has like the picture of
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
you and it automatically puts it on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I think those still exist for most of them.
Go find them, guys. Let us know if they're there, because I guarantee neither of us are going to look them up.
Yeah, no.
It was a good podcast,
You
though.
know what? I might have deleted that page.
Really?
Yeah, I
The
think I
Facebook
deleted.
page?
Yeah, I think I deleted the
Right.
Facebook page.
Never mind.
Don't go look it up.
Yeah.
Well, you can try. I don't know.
I mean, if you're interested about what happened at the Hideaway the first time.
If you're good with computers, you could probably dig it up. Realistically.
Nick Landy's banging away at his keyboard right now. He's like, challenge accepted, fuckers. Let's do this.
He was actually one of the people that asked me to dig up an episode, of course. And I was like, yeah, I don't think I can do that.
He's like, I don't even know where it is. Sorry. What were we talking about before? Oh, we were talking about William Henderson and I. Welcome, guys, to another episode of Gameboiz. We were talking about the comedy world in general. Maybe not world. It might. I should only speak on what I know. So I will say that in our scene and adjacent to our scene right now in the Inland Empire, there's been what William Henderson has dubbed a lot of disrespect to the art form. You know,
Mad disrespect.
mad disrespect. Maybe voluntary, involuntary.
I think it's involuntary. I can't necessarily get mad. Like I do get mad because that's who I am, but I get mad at the situation. I don't get mad at the person
Okay,
because I just think most of them don't know any better.
that's fair. Well, let's use this to educate them. Let's start at the top.
Do we
With
really want to do this?
I do. Let's start at the top. What is your gripe with wearing shorts on stage? Because I agree. I don't think that you should wear shorts. I shouldn't. Okay, it's hard to because it's an art form. It's hard to draw a hard line saying don't wear shorts on
Because
stage.
here's the thing, there is no logic for it. Really, it's first of all, it's a distraction. So there's a little bit of logic. It's definitely a distraction, whether you want to admit it or not. It's a distraction. You just look weird. Everybody else is at your knee level. You have to remember that. Like most people, like at a comedy club, or even if they're seeing you at a theater, they're even lower. So it's like you want them looking up into your thigh. Like, what if you got a big dick? And hey, like, do you want them looking for like your head at the bottom of your shoulder? Like, that's just.
Someone's just like, hey man, put the mouse back in its house.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, and like, same thing, like, don't wear like super skinny jeans, like, because it's gonna be distracting. You know, I think even like, if you have a lot of like tattoos that are like colorful and like there's a lot going on, cover them up.
Yeah.
Because it's not that we don't like your tattoos. It's not that we don't think you have nice legs, but it's distracting. We're not listening to the words that you're saying, which is what's important. We're looking at your knees that you need to lotion and you're fucking, and like the amount of hair. And it's like comparing your amount of hair to my amount of hair. And it's like, does he have more hair or is his hair just darker? Because I have a lot of hair on my legs, but my hair is blonde. So it looks like fuzzy, like peach fuzz almost. Like some dudes have like dark hair. So it's like, now you're thinking about all this extra shit you need not think about at a comedy show. And it's just unprofessional. That's really the bottom line. Because in the end, comedy has its boundaries, in a sense, as far as like an art form goes, or as like a profession goes. And that's like that's just part of the uniform. Yeah, you have your exceptions. Gabriel Iglesias, okay? But you're not Gabriel Iglesias. That's the bottom line. Now, you can't use exceptions or outliers as evidence. There's a reason why in scientific testing, they take those outliers and get rid of them in the data because it skews it. It doesn't make sense. But when they get rid of them, there's a clear picture.
Right. And Gabriel Iglesias has earned that at this point.
Yeah, I didn't mean to get all scientific on your bitch asses, but
I agree with that sense in that I think I come from like a more Asian old school like
traditional
like basketball approach where like my coach said, when you sink a free throw or something, like pretend like you've done that before if you haven't.
Yeah, or like in football when we would take your helmet off, take a knee, you put your helmet like upright and facing forward. You don't just fucking like hold it by the face mask with it down or just lay it on the ground. Like you treat it with respect. It's like, I don't know. It's just
yeah.
I
I share that as well.
It's a hard thing to explain, and I'm sure like more like advanced veteran comics would have a better reasoning for it. But my thing is just it's an unwritten rule of comedy. That's all it is. The shorts. Yeah.
I agree. And for me though, it's like it is. You were right in the sense that it is a uniform, and there are unwritten rules, and it's you would never show up to a job in shorts.
Yeah. Hey, if you're wearing shorts, you better be funny.
Yeah. You better fucking crush it.
Be funny.
You better light that shit on fire.
Because if you're not, roasting your shorts, dude. Like, that's the first thing I'm gonna go for.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. There's no I think you should want to stack the deck in your favor, and shorts just don't help.
Yeah,
there's no you can't give me a good reason to wear shorts, but I can give you a good reason to not.
Yeah, I agree. And like being comfortable is not a good reason.
Yeah, even if it's summertime, cool. It's 5 minutes, dude. Go inside or like come outside and
even capris. I'm fine. Dude, you can wear capris. I don't give a fuck. Don't show me your knees. But don't wear capris either. Can we be honest? Don't wear those.
I used to get those skater magazines, and they would always try to sell his capris. And, I'm like, no.
If I wore capris.
Please do. It would probably be the best night of my life. They still sell capris in like, do you have to go to a specialized place? Because I feel like capris are not in
I wouldn't
style.
buy capris. I would make my capris. There's no way I'm spending money on 3/4 of a pant,
Capris of holding 90 pockets.
Yeah, that would be cool.
What's the what else forms of disrespect have you seen in art? Because I think I agree with you earlier what you said about it being, it's not that people are intentionally disrespecting the art. I think it's out of ignorance.
Yeah.
It's out of ignorance and just not thinking it all the way through.
And I think this next one falls into that too, but knowing where you stand as a comic. Knowing what level you're at compared to everybody. And understanding that you don't deserve shit in this business. A lot of people, I think, are really pushing to like make money in this business before they're even 7 years in. And I think that's so wrong to even try.
Yeah. You think that's a fair metric, 7 years, and then you can consider valuing your art?
It's really about how good you are, and you're not going to be good before 7 years. And I think in order to start asking for money, you have to be like at a feature level, like consistent feature level at a comedy club. Maybe like you're a regular somewhere, like the Comedy Store, the Laugh Factory, the Improvs. You get regular featuring middle spots where you're making $250 a show.
Right.
Because
even paid regulars at the store, that's $50, right? For 15 minutes from what I heard.
$15.
15?
$15.
Okay, so that should be the standard for what people, $1 a minute. Because everyone
that's
goes
a little
to the
low.
store.
The Comedy Store is different. That's Mecca. So you can't really use that as a standard because there's so much more there. Like people don't go there for the money. They go there for the crowds and to work out. But most of these like low, I don't want to say low budget. I mean, it is real low budget. Most of the comedy shows don't get a budget.
Now you understand that there's probably a listener or two going, it's because you don't ask, bro. You don't ask.
Yeah, it's because we know our place in the comedy world. What I just said, know your fucking place. And we want to. You need to prove that you deserve to be paid, like over a long period of time. I don't know, man. I didn't really think out this concept in a lot of detail, but
that's why I wanted to get it on the podcast, because we didn't have really time to, like, you have to go with your guts. And I think the moment you're asking for money, because there's a level where people will offer you money.
yes,
And I think that's the goal.
that's the goal.
You want to do this until people start offering you money.
Yeah, and once they start offering you money, then you can start asking for money.
Yeah, then fucking game on.
But even then, like, there's a little bit, like, that's why I didn't say hosting, because I feel like even if you're hosting on a regular basis at comedy clubs, you know, you're not really a person, like a well-known comic. But once you start featuring, you're pretty. Most featuring comics I respect, pretty highly.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they've definitely put in the work. Mm-hmm. Whereas like a lot of hosts, it's like, okay, you're getting by.
Yeah. I would say like most features are at just below a black belt level in comedy.
Dude, there's a lot of like career feature guys that just like are really funny and they just didn't have that thing to bump them up to headliner.
Yeah.
They have the material, they can definitely have the skill, they can definitely do it, but people just don't attach to them.
Yeah. And on the same flavor, like I know that there's a lot of career features that don't necessarily want or have the time to be one of those 1% headliners. Like a lot of them are just
they would.
Content.
Well,
yeah, they would, but they're not upset.
Not pushing.
Yeah, they're not putting in the energy to be that, because they're like, I'm good right here.
Like Matt Fulcheron is a perfect example.
Full charge, yeah.
Yes, the Full Charge. I've seen him at the Improv multiple times. He's hilarious, has a very unique style, and tours with like Tom Segura and many, many comics. And he's very funny, but for whatever reason, just didn't make it, bump it up to that next
or
level.
hasn't yet.
And and I'm sure he does do like I think a lot of features do like a headlining gig here and there, but for the most part they travel with bigger comics.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, like they don't just get paid from the club. Usually if they know the comic, then the comic slides them some money too, so it's not just
which is still dope in terms of just like the experience and stuff. Like,
dude, I'd be happy being a feature guy for a career. Fuck,
that would be amazing. Just to go
that's
travel, do comedy.
Life.
Yeah,
comedy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's what, like everybody's like, I want to be famous, and it's like, well, yeah, but
yeah, I think
it's like aim for the stars, land on the moon. You know, it's like it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to in terms of like people asking for money. Is like it really skews your priority. And it is disrespectful to the art to preemptively ask for money. Like, sure, good on you. It's a very millennial perspective to be like, value my art, give me money for my art. Because up until now, most artists were like, this is what I love.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing,
And I definitely agree with like support artists, but that doesn't mean you have to pay them.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
different. The way you express yourself and what you get back of it is not on me.
Yeah,
like that's your own personal happiness treat. Like,
you should be doing. I don't know, man. I'm so much for just like getting better and just figuring it out.
Yeah,
so that later down the line I can get money.
Yeah, it's part of being undeniably funny.
Yeah,
like across the board, where they're like, yeah, I want to do so well that afterwards they feel bad and be like, I probably should pay this guy.
Yeah,
he brought in 30 people and he burnt this room down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's different.
So, I mean, I have definitely paid comics, but very rarely do I promise pay. It's like, come by, we'll see how it goes. And if it's a good show, I'll kick you some scratch. Mm-hmm. Like, usually at my own expense. That's usually my tips for the day. But, I, as a producer, I'm like, I should probably kick some down because this was a good show.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't and I don't know if I ever will really ask for money for myself as a performer.
Yeah,
I
unless you
definitely
get like a manager, and
or
they
that
can do it, you know?
or that. But I've definitely asked for money to produce a show to bring other people. But
There's more that goes into that.
yeah, but I was gonna say, but they usually the people that I ask for the budget are usually the ones that have already offhandedly offered it. You know, they're like, I want a show here, and that usually implies that you're willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
So that's the only time I've asked for money. But when people, because I've experienced the same thing, is if people are like, so how much time I'm doing? What's the pay? Like 0, dude. Fucking
It's like 15 minutes to both of those questions.
yeah. I don't want to throw them under the bus or anything, but I have had someone ask for gas money, which wasn't in chat and it wasn't through text. It was face to face, like, hey man, I drove kind of far. Do you think you can kick me some scratch just to pay for gas? It wasn't an amount. It sucked.
Here's $2.
It sucked, but I gave them 20 because they
What?
Yeah, no, because they burnt the room down. They came down,
All right,
they did
that's
10
fair.
minutes, and they went well above and beyond their call. And also was professional. They showed up. They were the first ones there, and they were the last ones to leave. So I was like, yeah, I will give you some gas money like for that.
That's fair.
But still a little disrespectful. Like, just a little bit. Just
Yeah.
like, you already made the journey. You're putting me in a corner where it's like, I'm not gonna be a dick.
Right.
So
And there is that thing that, like, I don't know, there's a lot of this going around where it's like, that mindset of like, if you don't ask, they won't give it to you. And it's like, I don't think that's true. It's like, if you don't ask, they'll give it to you when you deserve it. How about that?
yeah.
Why don't you take a different angle on it and think like, maybe I should work harder and maybe I can get more out of this?
Yeah.
It's like nobody wants to work hard in comedy. They just want to make it. They just want to start making money.
True. Yeah.
Nobody wants to put in the work. And that's the thing too. And this is super common out here. Not necessarily just IE, but in LA too, is that people do comedy with the intention of getting famous or like making money, and like think that they're going to start making money within a couple of years. And it's like, first of all, that's not how that works. Second of all, if you find gigs where you're making money that soon into your career, they're probably bringer shows, and you're going to hit a wall. You're going to hit a ceiling where you're bringing the same people back. All the other people you're doing the show with are bringing the same people back. You're doing the same 15 minutes, 10 minutes, because you're only 2 years into comedy, and it's not good 10 minutes. And then you're not coming up with new material. You keep doing the same shows. Nobody wants to book you because you don't have new material, and you're not that good because you're not doing open mics because you're not working, because you don't respect the craft.
Yeah. That's a very fair Willie D breakdown. We should have a segment, Willie D breakdown comedy.
I feel bad talking about, like, I don't know, like, I feel like this is just my opinion.
No,
And
I
feel
definitely
like
share your opinion.
A lot of people are just gonna be like, are gonna disagree.
They can disagree, but I think there's going to be at least a few people that are like, oh, I didn't think about it that way. Because, you know, when you're so early in your comedy career, like, I've been at this 6 years now, and, you know, I guess we can use this to transition into our next topic of calling yourself a comic. Like,
Yeah. I had to have a comic that was way further down the road than me tell me that I deserved to call myself a comic before I did it. Mike Cano on the Comedy Trip podcast, actually. He was like, we were talking at the end of the podcast, he was like, you're a comic. And I was like, I'm like a year and a half in. And he's like, no, like, you run the open mic here, you do this podcast, you do it several nights a week, like, you're a comic. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, Mike. Yeah. I'll take your word for it.
I still think that was still a little too early to
agree.
give you your comic wings.
I know.
But it's one of those things that, like, if another comic gives you your wings, you have your wings now. Like, you you know, it's like now.
But if someone's like, oh, you're a comedian? I'm like, I do comedy.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't do it for a living.
Yeah. I go by fucking goddamn it, Disney Channel. The Brink says, Andy Brinker in the movie, he's skating is what you do and not who you are. And that's how I feel with almost everything that I do. Like, comedy is just something that I do. It's not who I am. Whereas like the title comic for me is almost like it's like getting belted in jiu-jitsu. It's like you're at that level of quote unquote comic, but you have to sustain that level. Like you're not just there now. You don't just become a level 100 Mewtwo and you're there forever. It's like, no, you can get there on some good days, but you want those days to be more often than not.
Yeah.
And I just started calling myself a comic like
and it's
a year ago.
And it's really easy if you fall out of doing comedy to stop being a comic. It doesn't take long, and it's like a vibe, and it's happening a lot in the IE right now. People dropping like flies, man.
I mean, it happens every summer.
Yeah,
every summer,
and all the depression goes away.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I think it's weather. You know, it's hot. People don't want to drive, but there's also so much other things going on, and I don't know. I've been all 6 years, every summer, people just stop doing comedy, and then they come back for the holidays when shows are cracking, and then you see them again up until like January 15th, and then
nothing.
More drop off again. It's so weird.
I forget where I was going with that.
I was just talking about calling yourself a comic. Like,
oh, yeah. Well, if you're like in the scene, like those of us that don't take breaks, really. Yeah. And
not saying we're better. I just don't have a choice.
We're better.
I have to go.
We're better.
They know. I just didn't want to say it out loud.
Dude, when you guys texted me last night and you were like, there's like 5 people here, I almost didn't go. But then I was like, then I'm just one of those people.
Yup. Someone, I don't remember who said it. They were like, oh, it's really light. And I was like, people getting lazy. Like, that's all.
Uh-huh.
That's all. You know who's here? The people that are running.
Yep.
The people not being lazy. I don't know. It's for me,
and we know. We can tell. You can feel it, dude. Like if somebody takes time off and then they go back on stage, they're like, they don't have it anymore, or whatever small part they did have, they lost it. It's really easy to lose,
especially early in your career. The longer you've done this, the more experience you have under your belt. I'm not saying it's okay to take breaks, but the more opportunity you have to just shake off that ring rust early on. Like, I took 3 days off.
Too much. That's what I was just going to say. 3 days is like...
Yeah. I was going to say that's probably for me right now, 6 years in, the point where it's like I have to go up day 4 or I'm on reset mode. Like I have to find it again.
Yeah, like when for the longest time, we just did Monday through Thursday. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we would be off. And I'd be like working and shit. And then Monday, I would just be like, fuck. Like, but like now that we're doing Friday... And Saturday. And some more Saturdays, it's like now you're like more in a groove and things just keep rolling. Like, oh, you take Sunday off, whatever. It's not that one day off. It's whatever. You roll back into it on Monday. You just keep going.
Yeah.
And
you just have to. It's exhausting though.
It's a snowball.
It really is. It's fun. And it's one, again, I know we're still on topic, I guess, but it's one of those things that like you can't just go through the circuit once and then call yourself a comic. Like you were saying, it's easy to fall off early on in your career. It's easy to also fall off and rest on your laurels of like, I did comedy, and to call yourself a comic that way. Yeah. To try and bump up your self-esteem. It's like...
Yeah, and then people do comedy, they'll stop for like 2 months and then they'll get booked because they know somebody that knows that they were a comic 3 months ago. And it's like, what do you do? I find that super disrespectful too. To like take time off, not do open mics, and just do book shows, super disrespectful. Yeah. There's other people that should be on those shows.
Agreed.
That are working harder. Even if they're not as good, they're working harder. They deserve it more.
Yeah. Yeah. It is about work put in. And so many people get butthurt. It's like, you don't book me. It's, I don't fucking see you, dude.
You know who you are. You fucking know exactly who you are. So stop coming to us wondering why you're not getting spots. You fucking know. Okay. Yeah. Why you're only getting 5 minutes instead of 7? You know. You know.
I have a good working knowledge of basically everyone's like level in the scene, and it's like I'm not singling anyone out. It's I'll call you, I'll book you, and we'll slang you spots when we think you deserve it. And it's not that we're like fucking doling out goodies or anything. Like it's just that's the craft, that's the art.
In a book show, we want a quality show. It's not an open mic. We can't waste 7 minutes on your fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it's like I can't
leaving the stand in front of the audience fucking nonsense, dude.
I don't know if it's disrespectful or a pet peeve, but like, guys, move the fucking mic stand, dude. You want to see how green someone is in comedy? Watch where they put the mics on. If they don't touch it, it's their first mic. If they kind of touch it, second to fifth.
if they leave it in, kudos.
Yeah, it better be a style choice and not like a how do I do this? Because don't wrapper the mic.
Some days I just like, I don't want to hold the mic. It's weird. Like, I'll just be like, I feel shaky. I don't want to hold it today.
Sometimes, yeah. I used to be more animated on stage. I'm pretty stationary now these days, and that's just my personality at this point.
I like think about like, I think I should move more, but then I'm like, but it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, it's like, why would, like, for your set, why would you move?
I don't feel like I need to.
Yeah.
My idea is to make people laugh with words, not necessarily movements.
Yeah.
If a movement can add to it, that's one thing. But I'm not just gonna Cat
like
Williams and shit.
You want to do it like a Hannibal Buress almost instead of like just sit. He's fucking hilarious. And
Tom Segura. I think Tom Segura went like his albums are good, but when you can see his special, like his face, it adds a level. It's different. Like the way he talks, and then the how like resting bitch face he's just so like emotionless.
Deadpan almost. Yeah.
But like the words that are coming out of mouth is so silly. It's like it's such like a cognitive dissonance thing where you're like, this doesn't make like that's one of the things that I find so funny about Tom, is that it's just like when you look at him, it just doesn't comply.
He's fucking Stonewall.
Yeah,
in
it's
his
weird.
Face. Yeah, it's
so
great.
funny, man.
He's his podcast with Bert is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
I think.
it's great.
And they need to do it more, but I get why they don't.
Yeah,
it's understandable.
I think it's perfect every 2 weeks. It's just like a little fucking nugget.
I want more though.
A little nugget every couple weeks, man.
I'm a binger though. For me, everything is always in excess.
But I've been falling behind on podcasts, man. Like, cause like Joe Rogan does like 17 a week now, and it's just like I can't keep. I only listen to comics now.
Only comics?
Yeah.
I almost don't listen to comics.
Comics and like science people.
Mm.
Neil deGrasse Tyson or like Bob Lazar, like UFO shit.
Yeah.
Things are going to be weird, but like these political guys, I'm just like, I don't.
Yeah, I check out. Yeah, I've stopped. I would binge Rogan. I'd listen to him every day for years. And now it went on during my run and I skipped it. I was like, I can't listen to you right now. There's only select few.
Ari Shaffir, I think, is my favorite podcast though.
I'm not subscribed. I've listened to a few episodes, but I'm not subscribed.
Tank.
Yeah,
it's great. I like his ranting. He's so funny, man. Just like by himself, he'll do a segment at the beginning, and then there's like the podcast with the guest, and then he ends it by himself. Sometimes they're short, sweet, to the point. Other times it's like 45 minutes. So he's just talking about shit. He's great.
Do you ever want to like have maybe like a personal trading card for your like comedic ability?
That would be dope. Instead of a business card? Dude, we should do that.
But then like how do you fill those stats out? You know, like where would
die rolls, bro.
No,
they don't have to be real.
We'll put together your card right now. We'll put together our cards right now. Okay, so what is it?
Oh my God.
What's important in comedy? I would say stage presence would be a stat.
Stage. I gotta. What's our like range? Are we doing like? Is this gonna be like a Magic card game where you have like +1, or is it gonna be like a like a baseball card where you have like an average home runs?
I don't know. I was thinking more like a like one of those pie charts almost.
I think Nick Cardona. I think you should make Magic cards. With us on it, and then like in the little ability section have like a fucking
okay, you know what? Yeah,
charisma +3.
We'll do this like Pokemon cards. Then,
yeah,
okay?
yeah.
So that you have a specialty. All right, I
prefer Magic, but
you have William Henderson. Here's your picture.
I'm casting a fireball.
What level is your William Henderson trading card at right now?
What's the max of this game?
All right,
comedian trading card.
This is first edition, so we'll say the max level is 50.
50?
Yeah,
holy
max
shit,
level is 50.
Dude.
Yeah, but max
a lot of development went into this game, huh?
All right, 30. You fucking asshole. All right. I was trying to let you be like level 45, but whatever.
Level 7.
You're level 7. That's fair. Okay.
8 maybe, 10 at most.
Okay, so
level 10 joke slinger.
What's your specialty? If you had to, so again, what's important in being, so the stage presence, there's what, confidence, probably, because you're funny. Comedic abilities coming by default. So there's got to be something that you think you're specifically good at or you're edging. Have you ever thought about your comedy? Because I
Not
think,
like that.
What you think about that will build my trading card, because I've definitely thought about this before.
God.
So my trading card, I guess, picture of me, probably pointing or posing, fucking disarming. No, I don't think I'm a. I don't know if I'm a spellcaster comedian. I think I'm. I don't know. I think I'm kind of like a tank. I'll go in and I'll take the hard hits for everyone if I have to, because I can. You know, I'll just eat them. But I think I would say I'm a level. I'd say if you're a 10, I could be a level 10 tank. My specialty would be charm or disarmament.
Okay.
Because we got like 5-10 minutes.
Oh fuck.
We didn't even talk about games yet. That's fine.
done,
Life is a game, okay?
That's right.
And comedy is our life.
Yep.
And we're talking about a trading card game. So you know what? Fuck you. We brought it around.
We're gonna make a comedian trading card game.
I'm down, dude. I think Hector Lara actually has a spreadsheet of like everyone in our scene and how much relative time that he thinks they have written.
Oh, that's so disrespectful. Hey, delete that file.
I want to see it.
Hey, delete that file.
I want to see it.
You're so judgmental.
I want to see.
That's
I mean,
not you, him. That's so
he's
rude.
judging on facts, though.
How
you know, like
you don't know what I have in my back pocket.
He doesn't, but from what he's seen, you know, he could probably give a decent.
Hey,
gauge.
dude, spend time on your own set. You know.
No, he's
don't worry about mine. Fucking worry about your own set.
You're so insecure now. Hector Lara is a number cruncher. I'm sure it took him like 8 minutes to put this spreadsheet together.
I don't give a fuck.
You're just mad because you know I'm at the top of that spreadsheet, and
no, I'm just mad because you could focus on so many other things involved with yourself.
Well, maybe that's his own personal gauge of like.
That's fair.
You know how to figure out,
but go at your own pace.
I agree. Again, so yeah, no, that's his personal gauge of how he figures out where he's at, you know, in the comedy world, because we agree, we know where we're at, kind of intrinsically, if that's the word I'm looking for, and naturally, but not everyone's as gifted as us. So, you know, people need other ways to figure it out. And so I get it. And I want to see the spreadsheet. Hector Lara, don't listen to William Henderson. I support it because we're going to need, if we really want to make these trading cards, we're going to need a spreadsheet like that. We're going to have to build one out.
Oh, no, we're just going to wing it.
We're just going to, one by one. Why does this one look like Yu-Gi-Oh? And this one looks like Topps trading cards?
Hey, when we play this game, it is not balanced. I'm like, dude, we didn't. It's like Pokemon. We didn't actually think people would play the game. We just thought they would get the cards.
Would start so much drama if we started printing out trading cards.
I know, right?
I'm in. I'm not fucking.
We can get holographic ones.
Apparently, people are talking shit about us already. I don't fucking
It doesn't
care.
matter.
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure out why people in LA don't like the IE scene, and I've realized it's because we're just not LA.
Yeah, that's it. It's geographical.
It's not even that we're not funny, which I would be like, okay, that's a reason.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, no, they're just not us.
Yeah.
So no.
They think we want to be them.
But it's weird because they respect people from like other cities outside of like that local area.
Yeah.
They think we're infringing on their chances. That's what they think is happening.
We are, because we're better.
But there's plenty of like if you're gonna make it, you're gonna make it. That's the bottom line, in my opinion.
Yeah,
there's
I
enough
agree.
room. There's enough room.
I 100% agree. I don't think that again. I think we've talked about this before. I don't think comedy is like only a 1% of people are going to reach the top. I think only 1% of people stick around to reach the top.
Yeah.
So I don't think the cream will rise to the top. It's just there's so much like audience and like outside participation in this art form that the cream has to rise to the top. There's no other way for comedy to succeed unless the best comics are the ones that you're seeing consistently.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yes, we all know there's outliers. There's a few people that, maybe get a special because they're pretty, or maybe get a special because they know the right people. Like,
Oh, that doesn't happen, George. What?
someone can have 30 to 100,000 followers on Instagram and be a garbage one-liner comic, but it's just because they happen to know the right people and put money in the right places.
Wow, that seemed oddly specific.
Okay. That's fine. But it's like that approach to the art is, again, disrespectful, and you are going to hit a wall at some point. And some people will reach that wall later than others and be able to sit back and be like, well, I was a comedian or I did comedy. Other people are going to hit it earlier and just fall off. But I think the right way to do it is to just be undeniably funny. Like, if you can get the respect of your peers, like I'm sure there's a handful of comics that you can think of that you're like, they're fucking good, that almost without a doubt that they're going to make it. If you can get the respect of the comedy scene, that's step one.
Yeah. And most people, it's like when you see them early on and you think they have a chance, it's like, oh, if they keep going, that's all it is. If they keep going, they're going to be good.
Yeah, because I was listening to Rogan and Burr just talk about times they ate dog shit.
Yeah.
And it's hard to think about them eating dog shit.
Yeah, it's like, well, how does that go for you?
And yeah, because I'm like, I just ate dog shit. There's no way you did as bad as me. But according to their stories, they probably did worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I always think that too. Like when I have a bad set and I'm like, that's it. That's my career. I'm over. I'm done. That was the worst shit. Like, I don't deserve to do this anymore. I haven't been funny in days. And then I hear like these A-level headliners being like, yeah, I remember bombing my dick off. And it's like, oh, okay, it's part of it.
Yeah. But I think the ones that don't feel that way about their bombs are the ones that won't make it.
That's weird, right?
Yeah. And it's weird to think about that because I can't think of something that's more embarrassing than a hard bomb.
I know we're running out of time, but have you come across these people that are like, well, you can't bomb if you don't think you're bombing or if you don't acknowledge it? You know what I mean? Like that kind of mindset. Yeah. I disagree. I disagree with that. And it's weird. Chris D'Elia has that. Like, like you're not bombing until like you acknowledge that you're bombing, or if the comic doesn't look like they're not bombing. Does that make sense? I don't know. If the comic doesn't give a shit that they're bombing. The
perspective makes sense, but that doesn't change.
But if nobody laughs, it's like whether or not you enjoyed it or not. Bombed.
A bomb's a bomb.
Yeah, I agree.
But denial is more than just a river in Egypt. Yeah, who were we talking to yesterday? Carlos Patino was saying that anxiety isn't real. Yeah, I agree. He started explaining it to us, and it was just his perspective was off. And I think it's not it's a vocab lesson in that sense of like, I told him that what he was, I don't want to say that word. Actually, Jonathan, I told him he can use it on stage. But basically, he was explaining that he had never really, like, he had experienced quote unquote anxiety, the feeling of anxiety, but he never equated it to the word anxiety. So he never, like, that was never the association. He thought it was more of like a thing people made up because they wanted attention, but he knew what the feeling was. So it's like, he just had to make the word connection. Whereas like, I think comics who are like, you can't bomb, or
you just don't realize that you're bombing.
No, I think they choose to disconnect the word. Like, they know what a bomb is, but they're like, I'm not going to address it because it's not something that affects me. So I get the perspective, but I don't. We know you bomb.
Yeah.
Even if your set didn't bomb, we know that there were spots in you know that there were spots in there that bombed.
Yeah.
And that's what's important. So
yeah. Know what jokes bomb.